This is how they steal a nation from you, is they get you to believe enough lies cumulatively that you no longer know what is true. And then they gaslight you and tell you about fake news on the right. Look, no one gets everything right. We've made mistakes here. For crying out loud, we have an admonish button. The difference is we make the references publicly available to you, and we actually have shame. Here's another way that they try and steal this election from you. And we're allowed to say that on YouTube now, which is great. You're allowed to say steal.
Freedom of speech is back?
Steal. No. It's because they want to say that the election is stolen from them.
Oh, that's yeah. Got to keep that one. Yeah.
So here's another way. They want to lie to you about everything, and we know that, but they specifically, when the lies don't work on policy, this is what's so interesting. I can't remember another time, and Mission Control can fact check me on this, where if the polls are really close, and they are, let's just call them a dead heat right now, okay? On the issues that matter most to Americans, the handling of the economy, for example, the border, inflation, the American public favors Donald Trump overwhelmingly in a way that is not reflected in the dead heat of the polls, which means that you have people for the first time that I can remember in my lifetime, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, who are saying, yeah, I know that this man is better on policy, but the media in Hollywood have tricked me into the cult of personality. I know that grocery prices will go up with Kamala, and I know they'll go down with Donald Trump. I believe that he'll secure the border more effectively than her, and that's her job. I get it. I think that we'll actually be in a better place economically. But the media says she's really cool.
She dances.
Those are and the
she's
reason
got the
you
vibes,
see,
man.
She's got the vibes
that's
and
right.
joy.
All there.
Joy.
And the reason that you see that gap is because of stories just like this. Now, as soon as I read the initial story, I said, okay, this is absolutely horse shit. Yeah. All right, pardon my language. But I knew the media was going to continue running with this. Donald Trump in Arlington, at the cemetery. So on the third anniversary, to set this up, of the Afghanistan withdrawal, it feels weird saying anniversary when you're talking about a tragedy.
I don't think there's another word for it.
There is no other word for it.
Yeah.
But it just seems, because you expect someone to come out singing happy anniversary. It's like, no. That's not one of those. So third year anniversary of the completely botched Afghanistan withdrawal. Donald Trump actually honored the 13 fallen service members, while Harris and Biden have been, not just here, but they've been MIA since the event. And I'll get to the media lying about this and fact-checking the media. But here you go. Now, I want you to remember what you just saw when people on the left say, can't we find common ground? Can't we tone down the rhetoric? Could there be anything more unifying than that? Think about it for a second. If we can't come together over honoring fallen heroes, and if we actually find ourselves squabbling, well, then there's no point in trying to find a common ground. That just means that you're capitulating if you're the only person trying to find common ground. Now, the reason as to why the squabbling matters. Because immediately after Donald Trump did that, media started squabbling, had a meltdown.
There is a growing controversy over the Trump campaign's visit to Arlington National Cemetery earlier this week.
The family of a Green Beret who's buried at Arlington National Cemetery is not happy about Donald Trump's photo op near his gravesite.
Really?
Why this photo has sparked
One of those family members?
between Arlington National Cemetery and the Trump campaign. Both parties admit there was an incident on the hallowed grounds.
Okay. Also, here's the thing, too. Whenever the left tries to feign outrage over patriotism, you know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
These are the people who won't even wear pins, American flag pins, at their own convention. Okay. So we should respect our troops more than that.
Diversity.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. What was that, Gerald?
No.
Did something just come in?
No.
So they then, of course, crafted a narrative, and I'll disabuse you of that narrative. But before we get to that, this is not the first time. You know this. The media has been outraged when Donald Trump has done good things. We've covered them quite a bit, like the time he tried to help some sick kids. Yeah, look at that. I mean, come on, New York Times. Is there no shame?
I mean, jeez.
Or when he declined the presidential salary. That was a big one. And the media, there you
It's just
$400,000 for chumps who should just die. I don't believe he said that.
It's written, though.
It is written.
It is.
The
That
people
must
on
be-
audio, they're like,
Quoted it. I mean,
I couldn't agree.
when he was an actual hero and saved people's lives. That was one. And they, okay, all right, you got us in a technicality.
It was fine.
New York Post.
It was fine. Okay,
What a
fine.
dick. He
Fine,
didn't get everybody.
fine.
On audio, this makes zero sense.
That's okay.
Those are
Come watch the
pictures
show.
accompany them. So let's go through this exactly. And I don't want to go point by point because it's so silly, but the media just won't let it go. As soon as I heard the NPR news briefing, I went, oh, they think this is a winning issue for them. So here's the claim that they were making, okay? Donald Trump was not supposed to be at the Arlington Cemetery, and his aides went in, assaulted staff members for no reason, and he was completely violating protocol by campaigning and taking pictures, which is against the rules, no decorum. Can you believe it? Donald Trump waltzed in there, uninvited. His staff was like, good God, away to people who were just tending to gravestones. And then he was basically the Logan Paul of Arlington Cemetery.
he did a cartwheel, I heard.
I heard he did a cartwheel.
Well, that was after he shit on a grave.
yes.
We did it while.
So here's
Very acrobatic.
here's the truth. Gold Star families were the ones who invited Donald Trump to the ceremony. And then Arlington tried to refuse it, tried to keep Donald Trump from ever entering the cemetery, even though the families really wanted him there. So then the Speaker, Mike Johnson, had to intervene, and the families, of course, were very happy, thanked Donald Trump for being in attendance. No one was assaulted as far as the Arlington staff, and they then requested Donald Trump to take pictures with them. This is an example of people trying to put him in a no-win situation. He's invited. He accepts the invite. You try and start a scuffle when he accepts the invite, then claim that you were assaulted, which didn't happen. Then when he's there with the families, of course, I guarantee you, Mr. President, could we please take a picture? Do they look unhappy? If we can bring that image back up, do those families look unhappy? Do they look like they're being exploited? Do they look like they're being abused? They are the ones who asked for the picture. He was there by invite. He did the right thing while he was there, and he accommodated the families who invited him while he was there. Let me read you a couple of, and all the references are available at lighterwithcrowder.com. Chung actually posted an email from Arlington confirming the access that was granted to Trump's photographer, because that's the last piece here where they're trying to say, well, maybe he could have been there and he was with the families, maybe he didn't assault anybody, but he didn't have the right to take pictures. Here's the email. Only former President Trump may have an official photographer and or videographer outside of the main media pool.
Wait, so the main media is
Thank
allowed
you
to have
very much.
cameras?
Yes.
And
Donald Trump's allowed to have one at
So
least.
the main media is allowed to exploit this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump isn't. Okay. I see how it works.
It's all about where he was, and they were not supposed to be over there. What? The email right there says this.
Yes.
Come on.
This is how they steal a nation from you, is they get you to believe enough lies cumulatively that you no longer know what is true. And then they gaslight you and tell you about fake news on the right. Look, no one gets everything right. We've made mistakes here. For crying out loud, we have an admonish button. The difference is we make the references publicly available to you, and we actually have shame
I have lots of it.
when we make a mistake.
Yeah, what is he supposed to do? He's in a situation. They invite him. He goes, Mr. Trump, will you take a picture with us? Absolutely not. Like what?
Absolutely not. Look, I would, but I'm too busy assaulting the gravekeeper.
It's like a WWE match.
Gravekeeper.
What's he supposed to do? Run away? Look, I think I saw Papa Doc over there. Run. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
Papa Doc. What?
Well, he is a national hero.
He is, yes. I would run too if I see him. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess that's fair.
But here's, you want to talk about handling this poorly. Kamala Harris's campaign, they immediately tried to politicize the issue. This is what bothers me most. Do you think that Kamala Harris doesn't know that this is a lie? Just like when Barack Obama came out and said that women made 77 cents on the dollar. Do you believe he didn't have access to Google, to Bing, to every economist who's ever existed saying, well, that's not true. That's an
wife
old
with a job.
hired trope. Right. Yeah. No, of course she knows that this isn't true, but that didn't stop her from immediately politicizing it, saying, it's pretty sad. It's not surprising coming from the Trump team. Let's just let J.D. Vance respond.
But to have those 13 Americans lose their lives and not fire a single person is disgraceful. Kamala Harris is disgraceful. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened. And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
He caught himself. He was about to say she can go screw a mayor.
Oh, no.
Well,
You don't run that back.
well, it was on the prompter. It's not his fault.
It makes me like him more.
That would be screwing
It
down
does.
at this point.
He's taking this one personal, though. I think.
Up.
Yeah.
He's usually much more composed.
Yeah.
I think. Go to hell. That's personal.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Talking
he's
about
also
veterans and stuff.
He's also pissed off at the stupidity of this story, right? And it wasn't just Kamala Harris's.
I don't think it's
campaign.
stupid. I think it's a complicity that he's pissed off about.
Exactly. And maybe that's what I meant by stupidity. Like, he knows that the media is running cover for her right now, and she gets to kind of tailwind in this and go, oh, yeah, I can't believe that they would do this at Arlington. Maybe if you hadn't said, hey, I was the last person in the room on the Afghanistan withdrawal, and yes, I'm still happy with it, to Dana Bash, by the way, and took ownership of that, maybe he would be like, oh, okay, well, no. Of course she's going to get to the bottom of this. Of course people got fired for the decision-making that went into this and that led to the loss of 13 Americans. Plus, the thousands of other people that helped us out over there that probably have ended up dead. And the women who can't drive, go to school, I don't know, sing in public, I think is a new thing.
Well, to be fair, no one could know that the Taliban would renege on their women's rights promises.
Usually they keep their word. You're right.
Well, we were hoping after 20 years we had gotten rid of the bad guys.
Yeah.
No.
We are the world.
Yes. They should say we are the United States. The rest of the world should sing we are the U.S. Be more like us.
No.
No,
We are the world. We hold hands with everybody, including the Taliban, the Ayatollah.
No, don't let them manifest their citizenship here.
Tony. No. We are not.
We are
the
one world.
Just pick out the
sorry.
flags on that We Are the World that would nuke all the other flags.
That's true.
It's the stupidest shit. I'm sorry. It's like you've never gotten out of kindergarten. Do you not understand? It just takes one that doesn't want to be a part of your world. And there are many.
Or just, it takes all of them not wanting to let one maintain their constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, the person who allegedly was assaulted has declined to press any charges, but and this is the new narrative you'll see, is because they're afraid of retribution from the Trump team.
Yes.
Or the Trump supporters.
Yes, because
come on.
It's difficult to be bold when you only have the entire media, Hollywood, and the current vice president backing your bullshit story.
No.
Oh,
How do you feel good about putting that story out? Like,
well, you have
How do you feel good about that?
The
You know
UN, which we just covered, right? You have they don't want Donald Trump to be president. The media doesn't want Donald Trump to be president. Obviously, Kamala Harris and Tim's Socialist Walls, they don't want Donald Trump to be president. So they create a story that we know is false, has been proven false. The media will carry it anyway, and they go, please, Kamala, let's give you some momentum. Do you want to comment on this story that we know is fake? Hey, if he was assaulted, there's video footage, release it. Go. Unedited, release it. No tricks. You were assaulted, show it. They don't.
I think they were pissed off at the optics. The Dems were pissed off that it looked like, wait, we don't care. Neither one of the vice president or the former vice president was there at this memorial. And they were the people directly responsible for that event. Now, I understand they can't be there every single time or whatever, fine. But they weren't there. They were invited, potentially.
Yeah.
Didn't show up. Donald Trump was invited. They didn't want him to show up. They said, you know what they said? Scheduling conflict.
What does that even mean? The scheduling conflict? It's a cemetery.
It's a cemetery. That's exactly
What's your
right.
schedule look like? You can't.
Listen, what else is on tap for today?
JFK's flames getting low. You can't come this week.
Well, I can't. I can only hold my breath once per day. What?
I don't know. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is the changing of the guard is going to take up the whole day and the whole place.
Gosh, my plate is full with 39 days of not giving a single interview or press conference. So maybe I could pencil you in between telling people I'm not vice president and that I'll change from the vice president I'm not. It's pretty full.
And drinking. You got to include time for Chardonnay.
Well, I didn't remember to put that down because I forgot about it because I'm drunk.
Oh, well. So you took care of that.
Love that statement, too, by the way. What'd you say? She said typical of the Trump team? Not surprised.
It's not surprising.
Not surprising. Like, if you just take out the pretty sad part, that's just that. It's not surprising coming from the Trump team that they went to visit the families of fallen soldiers of botched withdrawal. Typical Trump.
Yeah.
Supporting Gold Star families. What an asshole.
Just take away the pretty sad.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it is. Pretty sad that I didn't think of it first.
I know.
It's not surprising that he would visit Gold Star families at request. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
And some of the families in the pictures have actually already commented.
That's
and said,
right
like,
on par.
We wanted to memorialize this occasion as we honor. Like, none of this makes any sense to me.
I'm sure they would have loved to have we just forget that Biden exists.
I know.
I'm sure she would love to have the president of the United States,
Former
vice. Anyway, whatever. They
Yes,
want to have him. They want to have him there.
Yes.
They want to have the acting president, Kamala Harris. They want her there.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't. But the problem is if Joe Biden showed up, someone would be like, "Oh no," and show him to his grave.
Why would he have an Arlington grave?
He's like, sir, you're early for your appointment.
Some witch doctor waving chicken bones. Back to sleep.
That's next week.
And he would do it too. Be like, okay.
Well, it does look comfortable.
Fold his arms.
Is that a Serta?
Get my girl in the casket. Needs his glasses. I see you're still watching. You've fallen right into my trap to continue watching. And if you click this video, if you like this, there's probably more like-minded content right there. You can click or just tune in live weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Or is that just what I want you to... Is that what I want you to think?